Hello everybody, this is Overboy and I'm going to be doing my review for the 1990 movie Freddy's Dead: The Final Nightmare. So this is the 6th movie in the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, and it's not actually the last movie in the franchise. There were 3 more movies that came out after this one, but yeah, so this one is more of a straight up comedy, and in this one the last surviving kid of Elm Street is trying to flee from Springwood and everything, and he goes to he meets these group of teens and stuff, and they end up getting taken back to Springwood and stuff, and Freddy starts killing them off one by one, and we end up finding out that Freddy had a daughter who must face up it's I don't even know how to explain it, because it's like considered to be the worst movie in the franchise, and I don't necessarily think it's that bad, but it is definitely not one of the best in the franchise either. It's kind of in the middle of my ranking. I've always thought that it's good though. I don't think it's near as bad as people say it is. I have a lot of fun with the cartoony Freddy, and they pretty much turned him into a Looney Tune. And as somebody who loves Freddy Krueger and Looney Tunes, it doesn't bother me at all like it does some people. I can tolerate both the scary Freddy and this cartoony Freddy. I will say there is no intimidation with him anymore though in this movie. He's not scary at all, one bit. The kills in here are okay. There's this video game kill that everybody talks about that was an alright kill. And when you see the character we think is the main character, the final Elm Street kid, get killed and everything, his death was kind of cool too. He got these little spike things put through his body. It's kind of a cool kill. But the best kill in the movie is Carlos, who has a hearing aid, and Freddy like tortures this poor kid, and then he just blows his head up and everything, but he messes with his hearing aid and stuff like that, and messes with his ears. It's a really brutal kill, and it's actually one of my favorite kills in the franchise and everything. But this is a really campy and cheesy movie. Like they really went all out on the humor in this, and some of it works and a lot of it doesn't. It's one of those things that I can get why people don't like this movie though, is even though I personally enjoy it and don't mind the slapstick comedy and stuff that we get in this, I gotta say that that I can understand where people are coming from, because this does not feel like it belongs in the franchise, and really and truly the franchise was going downhill. They were running out of ideas of what to do with the character and everything. There wasn't really much else they could do and everything, unless they wanted to go back to the horror roots like they do in the next movie. But this one almost killed the franchise, and a lot of people do consider this to be the worst in the franchise. While I don't agree, I can understand. I kind of have this as a guilty pleasure movie, because it's kind of just one of those that's fun to watch. It's a fun turn your brain off movie, or a background movie. I wouldn't say it's one that I absolutely love or anything like that, but I do think it is one of the more underrated movies in the franchise, and you're going to see it a lot higher on my ranking than most people, because I do have a soft spot for this one. And you got some really weird cameos from Roseanne and Tom Arnold, which I don't really understand why they needed to be in here, but it was kind of cool seeing them in there. They were both really crazy, especially Roseanne. And then you got Alice Cooper as Freddy's dad, which he's like his stepdad. It was pretty cool getting to see him in this movie and stuff, and we get more of Freddy's backstory, which is one of the things that I like about the movie a lot, is we do see more of Freddy's backstory, and they expand on it, the stuff with having a kid and stuff. It's dumb, but because it's like 6 movies in this franchise and she had never been mentioned before. I can get why people wouldn't like it because of that, but at the same time, it doesn't bother me too awful bad, because I think the third act was alright. And this is, all in all, an okay movie. I don't think it's near as bad as everybody says. I don't think it's one of the best in the franchise either, but I will defend this movie and say that I think it is a fun, turn your brain off movie, and if you watch it in the right mindset, you probably could enjoy it, like and everything. And it's just not a super great movie, though. I can get why people don't love it, but it's not a terrible movie like a lot of people say it is either. It's just kind of in between for me. I really enjoy this movie. Plus, it was also getting cool to get to see Breckenmeyer before he became big. Even though he never made it extremely big, he did make it big enough that he was around for quite a while in the early 2000s, and now he just mainly does TV stuff, I think. But I've always really liked him quite a bit, and I thought he was fine in this movie. Is a stoner dude, he was kind of funny and stuff, but it was cool getting to see him too. So there are things about it that I like. I will say one of the things I didn't like, though, is Freddy's look. The makeup and stuff on him is the worst in the franchise, and that's one thing that I can't agree with everybody on, that he looks the worst in this one. And he looked pretty bad in 5 too. Like, the makeup just was not near as good. Like, they didn't go out of their way to make him look as creepy and stuff like that. But like I said, this movie is one that I enjoy, but I do see the flaws in it and everything. I don't enjoy it quite as much as I did the last few times I've watched it and stuff on this rewatch and everything, but I noticed more of its flaws, but I still enjoy it. And I also wanted to mention that scene at the beginning when he does the Wicked Witch reference, and if you know, anybody who knows me knows how much I love the Wizard of Oz, so throwing in a Wizard of Oz reference in this movie, I know a lot of people say it's cringy and stupid and stuff, and maybe it is a little cringy, but at the same time, I thought it was a pretty cool little reference to the Wizard of Oz, so it doesn't really bother me like it does some people. But all in all, this is a okay movie. It's not the best, not the worst, just alright. So I say I'd give Freddy's Dead a 7 out of 10. That's probably higher than anybody else you'll ever hear review it, but I personally have a little bit of a soft spot for this one. And it's one of the few Freddy movies that I did see as a kid, so that could play into it as well. But all in all, I think Freddy's Dead is a pretty okay movie. I wouldn't say it's great, I wouldn't say it's terrible, it's just good enough. And everything. It wasn't a good way to end the franchise, though. If this would have been the last Freddy movie, I could understand people hating it a lot more. But it's not the last one, so I kind of can just go with the flow on it. And everything. There are way worse movies than other franchises. I know most people say this is the bottom of the barrel of any horror franchise. Now, I can get it, but I don't agree with on it. But anyway, let me know in the comments what you think of Freddy's Dead. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day, everybody.